When we had last left the Spacefarer, they built a new spaceship on top of their old one. It was a real Starship of Theseus situation, but even before that, they were doing a whole bunch of stuff with the Crimson Fleet, wrapping things up, getting debriefed, and making plans to set out to attack Galbank in order to get some data credentials or information that would help them find Crix's legacy. Now it was time to, however, check out their newly built ship real quick, and then head over to the UC Vanguard fleet ship and do a little bit of double crossing. This is Starfield. Welcome back. Zoop, zoop, zoop. And as you can see, we're on board our new ship. It already looks different in this part. We're all the way at the bottom, at the landing bay access. We're on Neon. We'll try and explain some of this if you decide to skip the previous video. I'm still kind of taking a look at how that previous video fares, and like I said, we may do more of it in the future, because every time I go to do, like, you know, the particularly creative parts of these games wherein, like, I'm building a ship or editing or building an outpost and all that, it ends up taking me such a long time, so I end up not having time to even do, like, a regular video, you know? So we'll see if this works out. So far, it's looking great, right? So far, we may continue down this route. Anyway, we're back with a regular one, where we're actually going to play, like, the normal part of the game, right? But what is the normal part of the game, really, you know? But we're going to do story stuff and questing and whatnot. Anyhow, before we do that, let's take a look at our ship. This is our lower armory area. Already, I have some regrets about this area. I kind of wish I had done it differently. I thought, ooh, maybe it'll be cool if I have the weapon rack set up by default, right? Maybe I want that. Maybe I want it to look that way. In practice, I don't. I don't want it to look that way. I want complete control over everything, as it turns out. So, I'm thinking in the future, whenever we do this, I'll have it set up to where I don't need to worry about the placement of the, I don't know, preordained items and all of that. We'll get an empty one, right? Maybe even in the not-so-distant future, I'll just swap it out and then plant these back down again, right? But yeah, we got an armory down here. Makes the most sense for me to have it right here next to the landing bay access, because our go-to weapons will already be on our character. There's no way I'm going to just store my go-to weapons on the ship. It will be like alternate weapons. Same goes for like suits. And if we need to go into a hazardous environment, we've got our suits by the landing bay, you know? If we need to go into another ship via docking, we don't really need to worry about that, because all of that, you know, there's never been an instance where we land on a ship and it's like, oh, this ship has radioactive weather or something like that. It's a radioactive atmosphere. We've never had to worry about that. Maybe we will in the future, in which case, but for now, it's not an issue, right? Who knows? Maybe DLC will come along and really make me eat those fucking words. We'll see. Here, this is a cargo place, because I think just having a big place for fucking cargo is cool. I like that. I think that sounds dope as hell. One of my main regrets here, though, with it, is I kind of dislike the vertical access point, right? If I had to think about the ship's layout, what I would actually do is set it up to where there's like a storeroom or a companionway, and it's just like effectively an elevator, you know? Oh god, I'm gonna need to eat and drink here real quick. Okay, hang on. Let me get some alien tea and a carrot. There we go. But maybe have it to where there's like a one-by-one room that's just ladders, you know? But I don't know if you can control where ladders spawn. It seems to do it semi-intelligently, right? So I'm not sure about that. I don't know if that's feasible, but we'll see. Anyway, That's our fun little storage room, or kind of big. It's a 3x2, I believe, which is one of the larger ones. Ironically enough, you can't access the ship's cargo from the cargo room, right? The ship's actual cargo hold, I looked up at this thinking that this would be it. It's not, dude. It's not at all. That's a little wild. I feel like it should be accessible there, but what can you do? Right? This very much even looks like one, right? Like at some point it would have been the case, but maybe they changed it around or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, up here we've got, I think, living quarters. Yeah, because there's places to snooze, right? Little places for like toaster oven, little cooking going on, but no cooking that we can do. We'll have to put down our own crafting benches and whatnot. Over here, some sort of control station. I don't know what this is. I forgot what I made this one. Oh, this is the battle station, right? This is our war room. What we got in here? They give us anything? Oh, look, a pharmaceutical kit in there. Emergency first aid. Okay, kind of cool. Ooh. God, yes. The just like idle beeping of the computers like that. That's so fucking Star Trek. That's so fucking like Star Trek Bridge. Do you know what I'm saying? Good God. Okay. Over here, this is a mess hall. I think this is another 3x2. Right? You can also get these completely empty, but I wanted to see what they looked like. And the mess hall, I actually think looks kind of all right. I'm assuming there must be cooking. Yeah, cooking station over here, as well as an unusable weapon rack, weirdly enough. And this is where we go to dock. You have to go through the kitchen, apparently. All right, you know what? The more I look at it, the more it seems like maybe the ship's design is a little fucked up. Right? I think that's the docking bay there. Okay. Fuck. Already... Right, there's a harmony to attain, some sort of standard of beauty between the exterior of the ship and the interior to make it make sense. Granted, this seems a lot more navigable than our past one. Some kind of like little dining area. That said, this you can also eat here. Can have a lot of people sitting down to eat. That's pretty wild. I think you can only have what, 6 or... Certainly not as many chairs as this supports. Or as many people as these chairs support. Fun little port window out here. Makes sense in the... What do you call this room? The mess hall. Right? You can see right out front the ship. Neat. Andresia is just like dancing on the ladder, having a fun time. And this is our bridge. Right? It's a Stroud-Eklund one. I really enjoy them. They look very Star Trek to me. Right? They're a lot more square. It's like someone put together a Star Trek, Starfleet like Enterprise bridge. But look at Andresia go. But they were like, oh, we need to differentiate it. Make it kind of square. Right? And that's what this is. That's what we got here. Okay. I appreciate it. Right? They even got the little computer back here for like fucking Worf to stand at. Okay. Was there another room that I had missed? I think there was. Yeah, back here. What did I put back here?
I'm here for you.
Oh, these are the living quarters again. And then this is, yeah, okay. Gotcha. I quite like these bigger rooms. You know? I like these bigger ones. More of that, I think, is in the future for us. These are also Stroud-Eklund Habs, which I don't know if I'm sold so much by them, right? I think someone had also recommended Teo, that may be worth checking out, and maybe so, right? Maybe we need to check out the Teo shit, because I love the Stroud-Eklund bridge, but the rest of the Stroud-Eklund shit, it looks very... normal, right? It doesn't look that amazing. It doesn't look so luxurious. Right? I don't know. It's very clean. Which I don't know how much I enjoy that. But yeah, we may want to try out the Teo interiors. Alright. Nonetheless, let's head on back up. We took a look. Oh, we can look at the outside here as well. Real fast for folks who, like I said, who skipped the prior video. Oh gosh, if I can even do it. Take a look at our ship. There we go. Looks kind of fucking wild. I tried to make it even longer, but you actually can't. Right? We're kind of pushing up against the limits of how long you can make these fucking things here. So, I don't know about that. I don't know. Definitely would probably want to edit around a bit more. But, like I said, I spent a long time screwing around with it. And already there are some imperfections like this right here. I want another sort of like one of these units, these two, and put it right here on our left. Right, I just ran out of them because I was sort of reusing stuff from the other ship. As far as the colors, it's just the default, right? I didn't redo the colors yet. We probably will. At some point or another. In fact, knowing me, we will probably redo the entire ship again at some point. Let's be real. Okay. Let's just bring up our map here. Or our quest log. And set course for that. Great. Let's do a jump. Lovely. Cool. There it is. Oh my gosh. This is very wild to look. Okay. Holy shit. Oh my gosh, yeah. And from the interior too. Wow, it's hard to see. I kind of like it. I kind of like it taking up so much of the screen. It's probably not great for fighting and all that, but man, it looks kind of neat. Look at this. We can also kind of look around here. Oh shit. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, what? Okay. Let's see, where is, the vigilance? There it is. Good. Let's kill some of our grav drive juice. Power that up. Hello.
Welcome back, Agent. You're clear to dock at docking port 1.
Okay. Good, good, good.
And you didn't even scratch the paint.
And then let us just board instantly from here. Lovely. Cool.
I find the interior of this ship comforting.
Do you really? It's like a fucking prison. It's a prison. Okay. Just left some drugs there.
Once we get rid of all the pirates, the galaxy will be a better place.
Okay, let's head over here. I wish our followers would have commented on... Like, I want Andresia to talk about some of the points that Jasper Cricks brought up in those audio logs. Okay. Hey, Commander.
You're back. So how did it go?
Did you think I would die? I've successfully infiltrated the Crimson Fleet. I'm confident this plan is going to work. I've successfully infiltrated the Crimson Fleet, but I'm having second thoughts. I'm through with this charade and I want out. I thought you've been monitoring me? Why are you so surprised to see me? Why are you so surprised to see me?
Frankly, it's because we've never gotten this far before.
Oh, you've tried
the
before.
The last agent I sent to infiltrate the Crimson Fleet ended up in a morgue on New Atlantis.
Okay. I thought you'd been monitoring me?
Even with our best intelligence equipment, we can monitor very little from the vigilance. We can pick up local communications chatter and use long-range scans to see where you travel. But when you're on the ground, you're on your own. If we get too close, we not only expose ourselves to an attack, but we might blow your cover, and that could get everyone killed.
Okay, can I also just say something here real quick? I think I've brought this up before in the past, but maybe not in this game. Am I correct here, or am I incorrect that this is grammatically improper? I thought you've been monitoring me should not end in a question mark. Obviously, because these are lines of questioning, right? They want to sort of signal to the player, like, oh, if you select one of these, you're not going to proceed forward. It's a question. It will loop back to that same dialogue tree, right? That same selection of dialogue options. You know, that makes sense. But they should have rephrased, I thought you've been monitoring me, because that's a statement. It should end in a period, right?
Please, proceed with your report.
If I'm being very particular about English, right? Which, of course, you know, when it's an individual sort of like writing a message, you should cut some slack for people because you never know, like, their, like, education situation, whether or not they were, like, what schooling they got, English is their first or second or further along language, you know, something like that. But in this case, in, like, a work, shouldn't this be a period? I thought you've been monitoring me, right? It's not implicitly a question. It would have been, a question would be, weren't you monitoring me? Right? That would have been it, because he would have begun with, like, what's it called? A proposition? Is that it? God, I can't remember anymore. But it's posed more as a question. I forget the exact jargon that you're meant to use. Anyway. It's neither here nor there. Just a tiny pet peeve, because I'm pretty sure it's incorrect. All right. Let's see. I've successfully infiltrated the Crimson Fleet, but I'm having second thoughts.
You stop now. Delgado will make it his life's work to hunt you down and kill you.
Not to mention the fact that you could potentially jeopardize the intelligence operatives we have in the field.
Lieutenant Toft is correct. I'm sorry, but there is no turning back. That being said, I believe you should be proud of what you've accomplished. I was certain we'd fool Delgado, but never. She's a sharp one. Overcoming her scrutiny is no small matter. Did you discover anything worth reporting yet?
I would not describe Neva as sharp, right? I actually would have described Delgado as a bit sharper than Neva. Neva seems maybe interested in scrutinizing things, but more from the perspective of, like, being a hard ass, you know? That's at least how I would have seen it. Maybe their intelligence is faulty, right? Because that's not the reads of them that I had gotten. Delgado is searching for a Galbank ship named Legacy that was carrying some type of lost fortune. Are you sure it's safe if I pass you this information? How did you know you'd be able to fool Delgado? Are you sure it's safe if I pass you this info?
I understand your concern, but you can rest assured that every member of this crew has been thoroughly vetted by both myself and Lieutenant Toft. Any information that you turn over will not be leaving this ship until it's fully encrypted and encoded. I give you my word.
How did you know you'd be able to fool Delgado?
If the intelligence I've read is accurate, Delgado is a charismatic leader, but a bit short on judgment. That's why you want to stay on his good side, and stay away from Neva. She's shrewd, and she's sniffed out everything we've thrown her way.
Really? Also, I don't know if I would have described Delgado as charismatic. I don't know if I would have described that guy as being a charismatic leader. Delgado is searching for a Galbank ship named Legacy that was carrying some type of lost fortune.
Legacy. Why does that sound familiar? Wait a moment. Are you telling me Delgado may have actually located Crix's legacy?
I have never heard of such a thing.
I'm surprised. I thought this was one of those tales that made it to every corner of the settled systems.
I suppose it's possible, sir. Intelligence picked up a bit of chatter on that subject recently. We assumed it was some sort of tall tale or a story to attract recruits to their cause.
I wonder what other Constellation members would know of Crix's legacy. I could see Sarah knowing because of her time in the military. Same goes for Sam because of his time with the Rangers. Barrett is, well, as always, he's a fucking wild card, right? Yeah, you could go either way with Barrett. And I would lean toward him knowing, right? Because he is definitely a wild card, but he's also like a learned man. All right, I believe it's real. Story or not, Delgado believes it's real. Trust me, I've already been through all this with Delgado. Story or not, Delgado believes it's real.
Well, let's find out if Delgado's chasing ghosts, or he's smarter than we suspect. Let me see what we have here. Nope. There are no records of a Gal Bank transport named the Legacy in the database. I think Delgado's trying to manipulate you. What do you think, sir?
I think there's no record because Gal Bank is hiding something. Delgado's no fool. If he risked his own neck to get that information, then he must be on to something. We have to take this seriously. What's your next move?
Right. And we do know that Gal Bank would have reason to hide all of this, right? We do know that they would want to cover their tracks because a big fucking thing went missing, you know? Delgado even talked about potentially being a cover-up. Why do you think Gal Bank is hiding something?
Can you imagine the amount of embarrassment Gal Bank would have to endure if they listed a lost transport in the ship registry?
Right.
Doesn't matter if that ship went down 5 or 500 years ago. If news gets out that a bank has misplaced money, it would tank their value.
How did you know Delgado was with us at the lock?
That one's simple. We monitored your ships heading down to the surface of Suvorov. In fact, when he returned to the key and you didn't immediately follow, well, we almost thought our operation was terminated.
Well, I'm supposed to board a Starliner and steal Gal Bank archive credentials.
Clever, Delgado. Very clever. If I were in your place, I'd be trying to do the exact same thing. We can't let Delgado get his hands on what could potentially turn out to be the largest haul of credits the Crimson Fleet's ever seen.
Maybe I should head out to New Atlantis, sir. I could press the Gal Bank execs for information. Get ahead of everything.
No. Let's allow this to run its course. We have our agent here feeding us information. I think that's good enough for now. There's more to this than just finding the location of the transport. Jasper Cricks was clever. And for some reason, he never got there.
I'll proceed as planned then. Shouldn't I put a stop to this by killing Delgado? How do you know Jasper Cricks never found the legacy? Yeah, like, doesn't this now give him... What's it called? Casus Belli? To just openly go to war with the Crimson Fleet? To, like, press this with the UC? Knowing that they plan to attack us like a civilian Starliner? Which I'm sure will be filled with wealthy individuals, you know? Yeah, 100%. Right? Like, historically, groups such as this...
If you would kindly continue...
Like the space CIA, like a SysDef, exist in some fashion or another to protect power, right? To protect a force like all of the rich people and CEOs and whatnot and higher-ups who will be present on the Starliner. Like, for example, the Gal Bank higher-up that we're going to fucking rob the info from, you know? They are put in place in order to keep a sort of, like, high-profile crime down, right? From like, criminals targeting the ultra-wealthy or powerful in some way, you know? They are there to protect those sorts of assets, right? They're not here to fucking protect specifically Joe Schmo out there getting shot down or ship-jacked by the Crimson Fleet, right? That's what do you call it? That's negligible losses. That's operating costs, right? They have to let that go through so that way they can actually do the real stuff that actually gets them funding, you know? The Joe Schmo isn't whatever you see tax money Joe Schmo is putting aside every so often is not paying for the fucking ship that we're in, the state-of-the-art gigantic capital stealth ship, you know? Which I think maybe you could see as here, maybe Ikande is too desperate, right? If we want to try and sort of work our way around this, you could disingenuously say like, oh yeah, this is weirdly done, right? This is weirdly written in such a way in that it would make so much more sense for this organization to just put them to task right now. And I'm very curious as to what he'll say, right? But I bet the real reason, regardless of whatever he says, is sort of highlighted by what we had read long ago in that data log or on his computer, I forget which, about how he has personal stake in wanting to get the Crimson Fleet, right? He wants to keep pushing this as far as he can to really not just, like, destroy this segment, but wipe them out entirely. Because, like, for him, it's personal, right? He's kind of going into it too fucking deep.
You have permission
right?
to speak.
If, like, for instance, what's her name? Taft over there to our right. They commented like, oh, like she was surprised that he wanted to keep doing this, right? Okay. Shouldn't I put a stop to this by killing Delgado? I'm so interested into what he'll say.
And let Neva Mora take his place. Or Shinya Voss. Or any one of a number of pirates already gunning for his position. No. The solution is to stick to the undercover operation and determine how much of this is truly a credible threat.
Okay. Interesting. But we will still hold up the Starliner, right? We will still go through that. Which is interesting because then SysDef is in a position where they also can't reveal their hand to the people funding them, right? These, like, high-tier, high-wealth, high-value individuals who are, in essence, the ones funding something like this, right? Who are why they exist from the get-go, right? The dog is off its leash, so to speak, right? The guard dog has broken free from its reins. Okay. How do you know Jasper Crix never found the legacy?
Because the Crimson Fleet would be a totally different adversary, and Crix wouldn't have disappeared years ago. Even if they hid the money with that damn human computer Shinya Voss, our forensic accounting people would have found that data. No. The Crimson Fleet are in dire shape right now. They haven't seen that much currency, well, ever.
I am impressed that Ikande knows of Shinya Voss by name. Okay, I'll proceed as planned then.
It's imperative that you do. If the Crimson Fleet gets its hands on a transport full of currency, it would be disastrous for the settled systems. I need you to do whatever you can to bring us more information. And for God's sake, don't kill anyone on that Starliner. You're both dismissed.
Right. Gotcha. Huh. Because if someone dies...
Imagine what state the pirates have left it in.
Holy shit. I don't know how they would begin to recover from something like that. They would definitely lose funding in some way. Huh. Very fast. I love the sort of, like, tightrope that they're walking with the writing here. Right? Which, like I said, once again, it's just indicative of how well put together the United Colonies are as a faction with all of their faults and everything. Because this is, once again, playing into it in another cool light. Which, like I had commented on earlier with the Freestar Rangers, it's kind of a shame that they didn't do it more, you know?
Operations does good work. If any fleet are setting up outposts out there,
Hey, Toft.
it's only a matter of time
Appreciates
before
the
we take them
sacrifice you've
down.
made. Going undercover.
I have evidence for you.
Good. The more you find, the stronger our case.
I picked this up from the Lock Penitentiary on Suvorov.
It's amazing that all this romantic nonsense about Crix's legacy really just amounts to a rumor Jasper Crix picked up in jail. It just goes to show you how a tiny rumor can snowball into a full-blown fairy tale. Have any more?
According to this, you have a mole feeding supplies to Jasmine Durand.
Yeah, you're right. But there's no way this was a solo job. Shifting all those parts takes serious manpower. I'll send this to Mast so they can shake the tree a bit, see what falls out. Looks like Durand better start looking for parts somewhere else. Anything else?
Here's everything I have on Shinya Voss.
So Voss engineered a way to directly interface with the Key's mainframe? I knew he was a math genius, but didn't realize he was so tech-savvy. Well, we'll share this information with GalBank. Hopefully it'll help them shore up the security on their cryptocurrency. That it?
I've discovered some interesting information about Radley Jasso. I don't remember this.
So, Mr. Yasso is actually Lionel Soto. We thought Soto was dead. At least, that's what the records told us. I'll have the records updated, but seeing as Mr. Yasso has surrounded himself with the Crimson Fleet, there isn't much we can do. Yet. Have any more?
That's all I have for now.
All right. Keep up the good work.
You feel like telling me how your time in the well relates to your past experiences with the Crimson Fleet?
Yeah. I figured it was only a matter of time before this came up. The reason I didn't bring up the Crimson Fleet is, well, I was one of them. It's something I'm not exactly proud of.
So we share common ground. This just keeps getting better and better. And not exactly something you want to shout from the mountaintops. Is that why you're so good at monitoring the Crimson Fleet? Does Commander Akande know about this? Of course he knows. There's no way he doesn't. Is that why you're so good at monitoring the Crimson Fleet?
I know a great deal about how they operate, what frequencies they use, their encryption techniques, their methods. So, in short, yes.
So Neva was wrong. There is someone who got away. Gosh, when all this comes to a head, will someone, recognize Toft immediately? Does Akande know about this?
He knows quite a bit about my journey. But I'd appreciate it if you didn't mention this conversation to him.
You don't want him to know that I know? Or am I privy to more than... Surely not. Right? Y'all are working in intelligence, right? There's no way the head guy doesn't know. Surely. Okay. This just keeps getting better and better.
Well, now that it's out in the open, I suppose I should explain. I was recruited out of New Atlantis by Neva Mora. She said I was making a name for myself.
Oh god, did they have a
and it
thing
caught
for each
the
other?
attention. I was thrilled. It was a chance at bigger and better scores and gave me a ticket off-world. Why the heck would I say no?
Oh my god, I bet Neva liked her. And that's why that would be why Neva is so hard about people leaving and tracking them down and shit like that, because there is the one that got away, figuratively on a relationship level, and then also with regards on a faction level, I doubt you had a choice. You could have walked away. Let me guess, Neva dangled credits in your face. Why did Neva choose you?
I raised hell on New Atlantis until someone stood up and took notice. And just like Adler Kemp stuck his neck out and vouched for you, someone else in the fleet did the same thing for me. In fact, it was my idea to send you to Sidonia for your first, well, I suppose you call it a mission.
You could have walked away.
Yeah. Maybe I should have. But there was a problem. You see, SysDef's Lieutenant Jillian Toft would have said no. But Jilly Toft, that criminal with an axe to grind with society, she stupidly said yes. They took me in. Delgado ran me through the paces on Suvorov, and before I knew it, I was part of the team. Now I was making some serious money. That apartment I boasted about in New Atlantis became a joke. I even made enough to buy my own ship.
Really? What the hell happened with the Crimson Fleet? Because right now, they all seem like they're hard up on fucking money, right? Like, the Empire is falling. It's crumbling. It sounds like you were living your best life. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I guess SysDef happened, right? SysDef is what happened. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm not exactly seeing the moral of the story here. What happened when Delgado brought you down to Suvorov? What happened?
What do you think? It's a giant ice ball. I froze my behind off.
Me
We
too.
spent a while exploring the surface near the lock, while Delgado laid out his spiel about honor among thieves and all that nonsense.
Did you have to shoot a
Never
giant
got look
monster?
inside the facility like you did.
Really? Okay. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Oh, it dropped. Hard.
Oh my gosh, so many shoes are
Everything
dropping.
changed thanks to Commander Akande. The man basically saved my life. I owe him everything.
Huh. He must have had his reasons. He seems to have a knack for changing people's lives. Hearing that makes me feel better about placing my life in his hands. He must have had his reasons.
He's a special man. I've never met anyone else like him. Look, I've already said too much. I promised Commander Akande I wouldn't talk to anyone about this. All you need to take away is that I've literally walked a mile in your shoes, and I appreciate the risks that you're taking. Carry through with this mission. I promise you I'll be there every step of the way.
Man, speaking of, like, shoes dropping and walking a mile, how did, like, what did he do to you? How did you change so much? How did a former, like, apparently high earner in the Crimson Fleet turn out to become such a fucking bootlicker? Did they, like, backstab her or something? It had to have been a falling out, right? There had to have been some weird falling out between her and Neva that we'll learn about. It's got to be some kind of love situation, right? Gotta be. And that's exactly
there?
why they
You
teased.
seemed like
They've
you were
been
about to make a
teasing,
point
like,
and then
why Neva is such a hard
nothing.
ass. You know? It's gotta be. Gotta be. All right. Will I have access to any SysDef resources while I'm undercover?
We'll provide you with information, but any inventory or ship services, it's best you get from the fleet. It'll help you maintain your cover and also give you an idea of how the fleet's operation works.
What other background information can you give me on the fleet?
They're pirates in every sense of the word, but they've managed to get more organized under their current leadership. That makes them especially dangerous, but hopefully it makes them a little more predictable too.
Okay. Good.
We'll be here if you need us.
Let's see. We need to eat again. Let's see. How about... I guess I can eat these spiced worms. Good. And how about some more tea? Man, buying all that tea was such a great decision. Okay, how about... What's their name down here?
Lost a bet to one of the officers. I've got mob duty now on my birthday.
Okay...
Word is the fleet has you chasing ghosts on Suvorov.
Well, I've actually already done that.
Commander Ikande is the heart and soul of UC SysDef. I'd follow him to...
Nah, I don't think enough research
Oh,
goes
you.
into AI, not compared to exploration, anyway. If you ask me, are we alone in the universe? I tell you, we don't have to be.
Let me do a hard save here, that way I can get a pick for later. Alright, hey.
You are very brave.
Oh, nothing
to-
new.
Don't be a stranger.
Okay. Where is
I could have
Ikande?
joined any division.
Do you think he has anything new to say? Back here in the office area? No. Maybe not.
operations on the key are
I was wondering if, like, I could talk to him as an aside.
Still, pirates are involved.
Yeah, I don't know where the hell he would be.
It depends. But the name on our chest says you see.
I mean, I guess we could go in here and just check real fast. I do also find it fascinating that they both seem to have this emphasis on dual leadership positions, right? Like, Ikande and Delgado are sort of mirrors of one another, just as Toft and Neva are. It makes me wonder as well, like, depending on how everything plays out here, will...
Mole.
Yes,
What? Alex Vaughn.
How's the pirating business? So long.
It's pretty good, Alex. It's actually going pretty fucking good, you piece of shit.
Orders came down. Some new science division policy. Everyone on board's to look out for heat leeches.
But they could have it set up in a way wherein whatever side you ultimately pick at the end of this, right? Like, we're definitely
Not to wait to
obviously
see how
setting
the
up for
UCS
such a
throwing
thing
its
here.
weight around today.
But, whichever side you pick,
Vigilance is unlike
the
any
enemy
ship
side
I've ever
incurs the most losses. Oh, here's Conde.
Howdy.
The enemy, whichever side you choose to side against, incurs the most losses, but the one that you side for could very easily lose, like, their first or second in command. Okay. Hey, anything
At ease,
else?
soldier.
Yeah. What is the primary directive of SysDef?
Our directive is simple. We are tasked with the eradication of space piracy in the settled systems. As the chief source of pirate activity, the Crimson Fleet is our primary target.
Right. Yeah. Like we had mentioned earlier.
Good luck.
Why groups like this exist.
SysDef Marines are the best of the best.
We'll definitely try and prevent any, like, killing on the Starliner, but I'm so curious as to what would happen if you just went in there and just fucking gunned them down. Right.
Anyone that gets on the wrong end of her guns is gonna have bad.
Okay, over here. And then, do we just head on out there now? Yeah, travel to the Siren of the Stars. Great. Head over here. And we'll just go directly to the cockpit. Why not? And we'll undock here. Good. It's kind of funny, our ship
We've
does look
detached. Let's get out of here.
very SysDef, you know? Man, look at all the extra cargo ports right there on the exterior of that. I would love it if there were, like, DLC or something that lets you build your own capital ship or whatever, right? Like, why the hell not? Like, if you're gonna it's like the mechs all over again, right? If you're gonna show me this, I fucking want one too. You know, if you're gonna show me one of these fucking things, I'm gonna want one. You can't just expect to show me and dangle this in front of me and be like, oh, you can't have one, right? I want a fucking capital ship now. You can't expect me to not want one after you've shown it to me. And I would imagine that we will get one, right? Assuming, like, it couldn't be that hard to make it to where there's, like you could just build a bigger capital ship, right? It wouldn't be one that you could land on planets with, but it would exist in space, you know? Okay. And also, at the same time, also, I would want to build, like, a space station and shit like that. I would want that for sure. Okay, let's bring up our map. Depending on the tail, the DLC tail of Starfield, I'm sure we will see it if they grant them a long enough tail, which hopefully they will. Because I think there's so much cool potential, but, you know, there's always cool potential no matter what. All right, let's jump. There we are. Great. I guess I just worry with, like, how Microsoft has been treating their studios and stuff. I worry that they're just gonna push for them to, like, do
Switching over to
Elder
standard
Scrolls and
engines.
Fallout. Because, you know, established IP, way more of a profit revenue generator than something brand new, especially something like we've said, for folks who regularly play BGS games and are really into them, it's very obvious, I feel, to us that this is a very different sort of game from what they have done in the past, right? For folks who are more casually into it, I get it when they say, like, oh, it's just the same formula again, this outdated formula, but then to the fucking real ones, we very obviously will be like, oh yeah, this is different. And some of us are like, yeah, this is different, I don't really like it. Or this is different and, ooh, that's kind of exciting, you know? Alright. Let's see. Let's look around this system. Man, how much shit is orbiting this planet? Look, there's even a ship over here. Let's give it a scan. This little moon. Why not? Give it a scan. Hang on, did that moon support life? No. Good. Scan that. We can actually scan on hover over. Look at that. It does zoom in, but it's one fewer button press. Okay, this one I can't. Oh, scan unavailable. Okay. Oh, because I'm not in orbit. I don't have system-wide scans yet. I only have planetary and, like, moon orbital scans, right? Whatever it's called. Okay. Hello, Siren of the Stars. Oh, I can't even hail you. Okay. Buckle up, Buttercup. I'm docking. Okay. I'm assuming SysDef did not ring them ahead of time. That way all their reactions and shit will be legit.
Nice work.
Okay. Should we... Yeah, we should probably heal up and everything. Let's get up. There we are. Let's get a little rest. Cool. Great. Ooh, look out the fucking port view area. Oh, wow. Neat. Okay. Let's see over here. And like I'd mentioned, I don't think we're going to need any type of special anything here, right? Oh shit, where were my beds at again? Where's the all-in-one? Oh, this is it right here. Oh, shit. I'm not used to how it all looks. Okay, let's go for 7 hours. We'll need to eat and drink again. That's fine. Good, good, good. Okay. Lovely.
About time you woke. We have things to do.
And then, let's chow down on... God, every time I want to use that scroll bar there. Okay, let's get some of that tranquility, and I will just eat a watermelon. Which, honestly, eating an entire watermelon should be one of those that gives health and... or food and drink, you know? Andration, why are you mad about me carrying so much?
It is pleasing to speak.
Are you carrying a whole lot?
I've never been one.
You're not. Okay. Yeah, I'm not over encumbered. I guess I might be if I'm hungry, if I'm starved. Okay, over here. And then... Oh, whoops. Wrong area. We need to go to the docking zone. Oh, look. Actually, our docking area ain't there? Oh, no. Okay. Where's it leading me? Didn't we dock with them? I think we did. Yeah, look. This is lit up blue now. Okay. Cool. Wonderful. Okay. Oh. It's a little gonk bot. Okay. Got some battle meal. We could have got food to go. Alright. Sure. Got some picks here. Take those. Bunch of money as well. We can save all this for our way back out. Food and drink here. Got a door. Ooh! Don't mind if I do. What do we got here? It's kind of shitty. Okay. Well, that said, it is fairly well protective. Yeah, this one is refined. Our current one is calibrated. So even with the mods, this is better. Well, shit, I guess I'll take it. My inventory, and then equip. And then store that old one. About here? Oh. Equip that on the mannequin. Alright. How do our hats compare? Oh, our current hat is really nice. Okay. Vacuum tape. Creds. A whole bunch of doodads. Another hat. Okay. Extinguisher. Sure. Hey there.
About time you showed up.
Cool
All right,
hat.
I want to know what's going on. I've been trying to get Delgado's attention for, I don't know, 3 years now. And what do I get? Nothing but radio silence. Then out of nowhere, just when Neva and I are closing in on a huge score of our own, Delgado orders me to help you out.
Okay. Is this guy Ulfric Stormcloak? Is this guy Ulfric Stormcloak or what? I'm just following Delgado's orders. You should be happy Delgado's including you at all. I can see how that would be unsettling. Why follow Delgado's orders if you're not in the Crimson Fleet? What? No formal tour of the ship? Why follow his orders if you're not even in the fleet?
Because the only way to achieve a win is by agreeing to play the game in the first place. Worst case scenario, I don't make the fleet, but I end up a couple thousand credits richer. That's almost a win-win, don't you think?
I can almost hear him saying it right now. That thou more bitch. You know? I can practically hear. Is it him? It sounds so much like him, right? He's just changing around his accent a little bit. He has such a, unique voice. It's so unmistakable, right? Maybe, what if it's not him? What if he's fooled me? What if he's tricked me? Ulfric's trick. What, no formal tour of the ship?
Oh, sure. First a tour, followed by a formal dinner at the captain's table. Let's get one thing straight. You're here for business, not for a vacation. So let's start by talking about Delgado's sudden olive branch.
I'm just following Delgado's orders. You should be happy Delgado's including you at all. Huh. You should be happy Delgado's including you at all.
Happy? Oh, I'm thrilled. Still, this leaves me with a lot of unknowns, and in our line of work, unknowns get you killed. So Neva's message said you were here for Dombrowski. Was that all she sent you here to do? Or was there something else you were sent here to steal?
Nope, that's the only reason I'm here. Neva asked me to steal the Earth Savior Award. I'd prefer to keep it to myself. Why don't you ask Neva yourself? Why don't you ask Neva?
Don't play games with me. We both know pinging a message back and forth to the key is going to take longer than we have to do this job. We're supposed to be working together on every part of this. So, you gonna tell me what else you're here for or not?
No, that's the only reason I'm here.
Okay. So why are you targeting a Gall Bank exec anyway? Not exactly your average Crimson Fleet prey. Why the interest?
Wonder all you want. That's the information you're getting. Delgado wants Dombrowski's Galbank credentials. I don't trust you enough to share sensitive information yet. What do you consider normal prey? Yeah, what do you consider normal?
Merchant vessels, transport, supply convoys, mining settlements, you get the picture. But taking on a megacorp, that's a really big deal. Something the Crimson Fleet stayed away from in the past. Sounds to me like Delgado's either getting desperate, or this is leading to an even bigger score down the road.
I mean, we can tell him that we're here for the credentials, but he doesn't need to know what we want him for, right? We'll feed him a little bit, and then we'll withhold the rest. Delgado wants Dombrowski's gal bank credentials.
His credentials. So you're hitting the Gal Bank branch in New Atlantis. Nice score, very lucrative and very dangerous. If you're going after a gold mine like that, I'll want to come along for the ride. Or you're not getting near Dombrowski.
It would seem we have little choice in the matter. We should hear him out.
You obviously have something specific in mind. I'm sure the fleet can slide some credits your way. I can't speak for Delgado. I can't speak for him.
You're insulting my intelligence. Delgado wouldn't send you all the way out here without specifically telling you what you're allowed to offer. I'll tell you what, though. I'm gonna make this extremely inexpensive for you. In fact, you don't have to offer me a single credit. I don't want money. I want back into the Crimson Fleet. It's as simple as that.
Crimson Fleet check. Yeah, you're in no position to make demands right now. Just do as you're told. Help me get to Dombrowski and you're back in the fleet. I can put in a word with Delgado, but it's up to him to pull the trigger. You really think I have the ability to promise something like that? What, you don't need money? And also he's right. Not just me though. We're all insulting his intelligence, right? Everyone in the fleet and UC SysDef, we're all here insulting this guy's intelligence. We're like, everybody's just in it like, yeah, for some reason this fucking idiot is helping us, even though none of us want him in here, right? None of us want him back in the fleet at present. Okay, you really think I have the ability to promise something like that?
You'd better, or you're gonna have to find another Gal Bank executive. As long as Dombrowski's on the ship, he's all mine.
Okay. What, you don't need money?
Of course I do. But who wants to settle for a one-time payout? I prefer to play the long game. You see, getting my ass back into the fleet means I regain access to Shinya Boss. And that's as good as an endless stream of credits.
Crimson Fleet check. Which is interesting that this is even available, right? Like, what does this mean? Obviously, you would only be able to talk to this guy if you were in the Crimson Fleet, right? Yeah, you're in no position to make demands right now. Just do as you're told.
Fine. You want to play it that way, and suit yourself. Dombrowski's a full-timer aboard the Siren of the Stars. Probably spends more time cruising the space lanes than actually working. Fortunately, the Siren is hosting the Terran Preservation Society charity gala. Larry won't be able to resist showing off his VIP clout. To get what you need, you're gonna have to attend the gala, talk to his fellow philanthropists, and dig up some dirt.
Oh no. Is shooting everyone an option? Alternately shooting ourselves to avoid it?
I didn't bring my dinner jacket, so you barely lift a finger while I do all the work. I'm gonna skip all that and talk to Dombrowski. What's a full-timer? Anything you can tell me about the gala? What's a full-timer?
Someone with enough disposable income to afford a permanent six-figure cabin aboard one of Trident's finest space liners. Consider it similar to owning a luxury mobile vacation home. Plaything for the wealthy, you get the gist.
Anything you can tell me about the gala?
The event's a complete sham. Bunch of rich snobs getting together and throwing a party for themselves. These people couldn't give a damn about Terran preservation or any other charity for that matter.
I didn't bring my dinner jacket, so you barely lift a finger while I do all the work. I'm gonna skip all that and talk to Dombrowski. I didn't bring my dinner jacket.
Yeah, well, lucky for you, it's not black tie, so you'll be fine. This card will allow you to access the Starview Ballroom. If you need my help, I'll be relaxing in one of the upper-level lounges. Head inside and mingle with the crowd. No one likes Dombrowski, so they'll be more than happy to share his dirty secrets.
His delivery. I don't mingle well, as long as there's free booze. What sort of dirty secrets are we talking about? Also, I can't believe that in this far in the future, especially with how, like, the tailoring and everything looks for the sci-fi versions of stuff, I can't believe black tie still exists to where this guy would even know of it. Okay, what sort of dirty secrets are we talking about?
He's a VIP executive, which means he either worked really, really hard using blood, sweat, and tears to make the arduous climb to the top, or he backstabbed, lied, cheated, and betrayed his way up the corporate ladder. From what I've heard, it's the second option.
Okay. And, I mean, they aren't also... they're not mutually exclusive. A lot of the time, people breaking their butt trying to get into positions such as these, you gotta step on a lot of fucking other people to get up that high, right? Okay. As long as there's free booze.
Now you're speaking my language. Oh, there's one last thing. Trident equips all of their starliners with the latest acoustic threat detection.
What?
Meaning that you lose patience and kill anyone aboard the ship, security will be alerted and all hell will break loose.
Anyway, don't threaten me with a good time.
I suppose that's enough to get you started. Good luck.
Oh, optional discover location of the ES award. Optional kill Larry Dombrowski. Do you know anything about the Earth Savior Award?
What the hell? When I asked you earlier, you said you weren't here for anything else.
Oh, shit.
Not only did you lie to me, but now you're telling me...
I didn't tell you that! I'm just asking about it! I'm not here for anything but those credentials!
Yeah? And I suppose it's just a coincidence you happen to be asking me about the very thing Neva and I agreed to steal together.
Yeah!
I can't believe she's trying to cut me out of this deal. Without me, the award never would have ended up here in the first place.
Shit! Without her, you're also never getting back into the fleet. Don't worry, you're still going to get paid. You don't want to be on Neva's bad side. What was the original plan you had with Neva? I'm not even going to entertain him more with this. You don't want to get on Neva's bad side.
That would imply that Neva has a good side to begin with. Fine, I'll help. But you're doing all the legwork, and I'm still taking my cut of the payout. So tell me, what's the status of your plan?
I've just gotten started.
Okay, then let me point you to the person in charge of the award. Her name's Sheila Holbrook, and you can probably find her in the Starfield ballroom. I'd press her to reveal where the award's hidden, and we can go from there. And if you're thinking of pulling the trigger on poor Miss Holbrook, remember that any gunfire is gonna set off the ship's alarms.
So I just need to beat the shit out of her. What's the deal with this Terran Preservation Society?
They claim their goal is to celebrate the soul of the Earth, the culture, the people, and the ideals of the past. In their minds, Earth is now dead, which is why they feel that preservation of its remaining aspects is so important. In reality, this is what happens when folks with far too much time and far too much money get together to make themselves feel like they're contributing to society.
Okay, I mean, in that case, I'm surprised that it isn't a black tie event. Why can't I just kill Dombrowski and take his credentials off of his body? Well, we know why, but let's hear
You
him.
seriously need to ask. Okay, I'll give you 2 reasons. First, Gold Bank protects their own. Kill Dombrowski, and they send Ecliptic after every Crimson Fleet ship they can find. Not something Delgado wants, I suspect. And second, you offer Gal Bank employee in every single Gal Bank facility in the settled systems will triple their security. I'm gonna guess that won't help with whatever your plans are regarding Gal Bank, now will it?
God, what if you just kill him? Can you? Okay.
Oh, and while you're at the gala, avoid the canapes. They're frozen, not fresh.
Oh. Well, I suppose when next we come back... Man, I can't believe that that we gave it away in the last moment by just asking him the question. I thought it was innocuous enough that he wouldn't, like, connect the dots, right? Because he already talked about the ceremony and the Terran whatever society, the Terran Sustainment Society or whatever it's called. Shit. All right. Well, when next we come back, we're going on in, we're going to investigate, we're going to poke around, we're going to see how fucking wild this can get. I'm probably going to try and not shoot anybody, right? If I have to fuck someone up, we'll just give them fucking A and fucking B. If anything, maybe I should unequip Andrasia, right? Maybe that's something I should do. Here.
I always enjoy these.
Well, she has her default weapon, right? Doesn't she have a default weapon? Oh, she uses an EM weapon. Well, thank fuck. Okay.
I look forward to our next discussion.
Okay. When next we come back, Starliner, baby. Until next time, please take care of each other.